Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Straw Hats were reborn with their current memories and turned evil? Would they become even more infamous than the legendary Rocks pirates? Or would they carve a brand new era of terror across the seas? Well, to answer that, let's begin with Luffy's backstory. He is born once again in Fuchsia Village, chasing the same dream of becoming Pirate King. But this time, his purpose is darker. In the original story, Luffy sought freedom. Now he seeks dominance. He doesn't just want to be king of the pirates, he wants to rule the entire world. When Shanks brings the devil fruit, Luffy already knows its power. Without hesitation, he devours it, fully aware of the strength it will grant him. Yet he bides his time. Smarter than before, he allows fate to unfold, watching as Shanks loses his arm, all part of Luffy's cold calculation to one day crush him with ease. With Ace and Sabo, he laughs, fights, and dreams as before, but deep inside, he sees them only as pawns for his future empire. At 17, he finally sets sail. His first stop mirrors the original, Alvida's ship and the timid boy, Kobe. But this Luffy is merciless. He offers Kobe a choice, join him or die. Kobe refuses, clinging to his marine dream. For that, Luffy beats him brutally and casts him into the sea. For Alvida, he deals with her the same as in the original, but this time, he takes command of her crew to reach Shellstown. Now, before we move on, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, what are you waiting for? Go on, click it. Now, as soon as Luffy arrives at Shellstown, he finds Zoro once again tied up at the marine base. Without hesitation, Luffy heads straight for him. He asks, "Do you remember me?" Zoro, who also carries his memories, responds with a smirk. "Nice to see you again, Captain." This Zoro is not the one we knew. Ruthless, merciless, infamous. He reveals he allowed himself to be captured so Luffy could find him easily, and instead of killing Helmeppo's wolf like before, he slaughtered Helmeppo himself. Luffy laughs, mocking the weak fool who dared cross him. From there, events play out almost the same. Morgan shows up only to be defeated by Luffy and Zoro, and the two set sail once again. But before we move on ahead, let's take a look at Zoro's past, because it's totally different in this timeline. Originally, Zoro's dream was born after losing to Kuina, vowing to become the world's greatest swordsman in her honor after her tragic death. But now, with his memories and skills already intact, Kuina never stood a chance. He defeated her every single time. Not only that, Zoro crushed her spirit, telling her she could never surpass him because she was a woman. And though he could have saved her from the stairs this time, he chose not to. Why? Because he wanted her sword, Wado Ichimonji, for himself. From there, Zoro's reputation grew even faster than before, fueled by his terrifying swordsmanship. As his body developed and his old strength returned, his dark legend spread. Eventually, he became feared across the seas as the Reaper Zoro, the one who cuts down all without mercy. Now back to the present. Luffy and Zoro reach Orangetown, where they run into Buggy the Clown. But here's where things change. This time, they already know Buggy's future, how he'll rise to become a Yonko, leaving Mihawk and Crocodile under the cross guild. So instead of wasting time, Luffy and Zoro kill Buggy on the spot and wipe out his crew. Well, one less Yonko to worry about in the future, right? And on top of that, it sends a message to Shanks. Luffy has killed his childhood friend. That means, in this timeline, there is no cross guild. But wait, you're probably wondering the same thing Luffy and Zoro were. Where's Nami? Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. Before that, let's head over to Syrup Village, because things there, they're very different this time. See, after regaining his memories, Usopp isn't the goofy liar we knew. No, this time, he's a manipulator. He twists people's minds, stirring up chaos and destruction for his own gain. He already knows about Kuro's plan to steal Kaya's fortune, so he gets ahead of him. Usopp manipulates Kuro's own crew into betraying him, dismantles his plan, and earns Kaya's trust. But not out of kindness. No, Usopp wants Kaya's fortune for himself. Just like Kuro, he becomes Kaya's butler, makes her fall for him, and slowly poisons her, planning to make her accidental death look natural so he can inherit it all. By the time Luffy and Zoro arrive, Usopp has everything prepared. Together, they strip Kaya of her fortune and set sail with their new ship, the Going Merry. While sailing towards their next stop, three of them share stories, how they manipulated people and the cruel things they've done, until their journey takes them to the floating restaurant Baratie. But before that, let's see what Sanji has been up to. Upon regaining his memories, his first act is to confront his tormentors, his brothers. In the original, they mocked and beat him. This time, Sanji is no weak child. Armed with future memories and skill, he mercilessly kills them all, sparing only his sister for the kindness she once showed. When Judge discovers his failure to destroyed his perfected sons, his fury drives him to imprison Sanji, but by then, Sanji is already gone. From there, his story follows the same path, rescued by Zeph, trapped on the rock, and eventually helping to build the Baratie. The only difference? This Sanji serves food exclusively to beautiful women, while letting men starve. So when Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp arrive, Sanji greets them warmly and serves a full meal. Then Gain appears, starving and desperate. In the original, Sanji secretly fed him despite protests, but here, Sanji lets him suffer, laughing in his face, mocking how pathetic he is. Because of that, Don Krieg never reaches the Baratie. Without Gain to guide him, Krieg is likely destroyed at sea, and Mihawk has no reason to appear, which means no Zoro versus Mihawk this time. Now, with 4 members already on board, it's time for Nami to enter the story at Arlong Park. But first, let's see what Nami has been up to. After regaining her memories, Nami becomes obsessed with wealth, power, and her dream of mapping the entire world. That obsession twists her, turning her ruthless. She knew Arlong would eventually come to her village, but as a child, there was nothing she could do, or so she thought. To her surprise, Arlong never arrived. Why? Stick to the video. You'll find out soon enough. Because Arlong never came, Belmare survived, and Kokoyasi village remained free. As Nami grew older, she built a secret band of thieves and mercenaries, hoarding money in the shadows, without Belmare or Nujiko ever knowing. So when the Straw Hats reach Kokoyasi, they're stunned. No Arlong, no oppression. With Nami now joining their crew, the Straw Hats immediately demand the villagers hand over their fortune if they wish to live. Shocked, Belmare and Nujiko beg Nami for answers. Nami, who has now dropped her sweet daughter act, asks Belmare to hand over everything she has. Belmare, furious, slaps her across the face. But in that moment, Nami shows her true colors. To prove the Straw Hats are serious, she kills her own mother, right there in front of everyone. Then she turns to the villagers and warns, if you don't want the same fate, hand over all your wealth and food. The Straw Hats leave Kokoyasi behind with everything stripped bare, setting sail once more for Logtown. This time, the Straw Hats don't visit Logtown to resupply. Their holds overflow with Kokoyasi's stolen wealth. They arrive only to show dominance. Luffy storms the execution platform, spreading chaos until Smoker intervenes. Zoro acquires Sandai Kitetsu, then cruelly humiliates Tashigi, mocking her as weak simply for her being a woman, before effortlessly defeating her. Meanwhile, Nami slips into Smoker's base to steal a log post, while Sanji and Usopp guard the ship ready to flee. On the other side of town, Luffy clashes with Smoker. With future memories intact, he already knows Haki, and wields it with ease. He counters Smoker effortlessly and brings him down. Standing atop Roger's execution site, he declares, I will become Pirate King, and I will rule this world. From the shadows, Dragon watches. He does nothing, only studies the monster his son has become. And so, with the world shaken by his words, Luffy declares the dawn of a new era. With that, the Straw Hats set sail for the Grand Line. The Straw Hats finally enter the Grand Line, but to their surprise, there's no Laboon waiting, and no Crocus either. Why? That will be revealed soon enough. Stick with me. Without Laboon, that also means there's no Vivi here. But thanks to Nami, who stole a log post back at Smoker's base, they already have a way forward. Their first stop on the Grand Line is set, and so the Straw Hats sail directly toward Whiskey Peak. Just like in the original, the townspeople of Whiskey Peak greet the Straw Hats warmly, throwing a grand feast in their honor. But this time, the crew already knows the truth, and once again, Zoro alone is enough to put the bounty hunters in their place. Afterward, they meet Miss Wednesday, who is, of course, Princess Vivi of Alabasta. The Straw Hats reveal they already know her true identity and tell her they'll help her overthrow Crocodile. Vivi is suspicious at first, but their act convinces her that they're on her side. As in the original, the Baroque Works agents known as the Unluckies appear and report that Vivi's cover has been blown. The Straw Hats could have stopped them, but instead, they purposely let them go. And so, with no turning back, Vivi sets sail alongside them. Their next destination, Little Garden. This arc plays out much like the original for 2 reasons. First, the Straw Hats need Vivi to fully trust them. And second, they see Elbaf as a key stepping stone for their future plans. So, just like before, they encounter the giants Dory and Brogy, crush the Baroque Works agents, and cleverly feed Crocodile false information. With that done, they set sail once again, this time toward Drum Island, where they'll recruit Monster Chopper. But before reaching Drum Island, let's see what Chopper has been up to. After eating the Hito Hito no Mi, Chopper regains his memories. Just like before, humans fear him, attack him, call him a monster. Wounded and abandoned, he's found by Dr. Hiraluk, who heals him and treats him like a son. But this time, Chopper is consumed by hatred for humans, and his first victim is Hiraluk himself. From there, his rampage only grows. He slaughters and enslaves humans across Drum Island, including Wapol, Kureha, and countless others, until he crowns himself tyrant of the land. Still a doctor, still with his memories, but now a monster king, waiting for Luffy and his crew to arrive and take him away. In the original, the crew reached Drum Island because Nami fell ill after Little Garden, but this time, Nami knows her surroundings. She never catches a fever. The Straw Hats sail to Drum for one reason only, to recruit Chopper. And just like that, the tyrant doctor joins the crew. From there, they set their sights on the main event, Alabasta. Alright, in Alabasta, we're about to meet Robin. In the original, the Straw Hats met her right after Whiskey Peak, but this time, there's a reason she wasn't there. So let's rewind and see what she's been up to. After regaining her memories in Ohara, Robin's first move is to secure its knowledge. Still ruthless, she knows knowledge is the key to destroying the world's government. No one listened to a child, so she befriends Saul and convinces him to help. Together, they move Ohara's knowledge to Elbaf, meaning Saul is in Elbaf now, not Ohara. But the Buster Call is issued. Events play out much the same, but Robin leaves earlier, making the government believe she died with the rest. Aokiji never finds her. No bounty, no life on the run. So what does she do? She slips back into Crocodile's ranks, planning to hide under him until the Straw Hats arrive in Alabasta, then betray him at the right moment. That's why, when she hears about troublemakers in Whiskey Peak, she knows it's them. To keep her cover, she convinces Crocodile they're harmless and can be handled later. Now the Straw Hats reach Alabasta. When Ace meets Luffy, his brother doesn't stop him from chasing Blackbeard. Why? Because this time, Luffy wants Marineford to happen, as it will eliminate Whitebeard, which could have given him trouble later on. And here's where everything changes. This time, the Straw Hats deliberately let themselves be captured in Rain Base. When Robin brings Vivi in, she sees the crew and drops the act, freeing them and leaving Crocodile stunned. Then the Straw Hats reveal the truth. Their plan all along was to seize Alabasta, mass-produce dance powder, and dominate the black market. Vivi tries to resist, but before she can speak, Zoro cuts her down without hesitation. After that, Luffy defeats Crocodile and gives him a choice: be my subordinate or die. Crocodile, in despair, submits. He pledges loyalty to Luffy and surrenders everything to him. And so, the Straw Hats leave Alabasta in his hands, with Crocodile still standing as a warlord, now as Luffy's subordinate, funneling his black market fortune to them. After that, Smoker and Tashigi were captured by Crocodile, as they were also in Alabasta at the time, ensuring word never escapes. With that, the Straw Hats set sail once more. Their next destination, Skypiea. But unlike before, they already know about it, so this time, there's no Jaya arc. In Skypiea, the Straw Hats waste no time. They know exactly where Enel is and head straight for him. Once again, Luffy defeats Enel with ease, but this time, there's a twist. Instead of letting him flee to the moon, Luffy asks him to join the crew, and together, they can rule the world. Luffy will command the seas, while Enel claims the skies. Enel, who's always desired to be a god, finally bends the knee to the only man who's ever defeated him. And just like that, the Straw Hats gain an unlikely new crewmate. And now, next, the Straw Hats sail to Water 7. Since Robin isn't a threat to the world government this time, she's never captured, and that means no Eddie's Lobby. The only reason the crew heads to Water 7 now is to recruit Frankie. So what's Frankie been up to? After regaining his memories of being abandoned by his pirate parents, likely tied to Queen, Frankie grows up hating pirates. Tom still takes him in, but this Frankie rejects his ideals. He despises Tom for building Roger's ship, blaming it for sparking the pirate age that ruined his childhood. After Tom's execution, Frankie secures the Pluton blueprints. He begins construction, but quickly realizes the resources required would expose him to the world government. Instead, he modifies himself, becoming a cyborg once more, and waits for the Straw Hats, holding the blueprints and preparing to pass them on when the time comes. With his memories intact, he even starts building the Thousand Sunny right away. So by the time the Straw Hats arrive, the Sunny is already complete. They abandon the Mary without hesitation, seeing it as nothing more than a ship, and sail away with Frankie to pick up Brook at Thriller Bark. But before that, the clash between Ace and Blackbeard still happens, and for Ace, everything plays out the same. Just this time, we have 8 warlords warlords of the sea, including Blackbeard. Now here's where things change. This time, there's no Thriller Bark. Why? The answer lies in Brook's backstory. He once again joined the Rumbar Pirates, but with a single purpose: to eat the Revive fruit. During their journey in the West Blue, things unfolded differently. Because of Brook, the Rumbar Pirates never befriended Laboon, and without that bond, Crocus had no reason to stay behind. That's why, in this version, we never saw Crocus at Reverse Mountain. Just like before, Brook eats the Revive fruit, and once again, his crew perishes, Crocus included. Later, he crosses paths with Gecko Moria, who steals his shadow and implants it into Ryuma. But this Brook is far stronger thanks to his memories and battles, even clashing with a Yonko. His speed and soul-based powers completely outclass Moria's sluggish style, allowing Brook to defeat him outright. With Moria gone, the stolen shadows return to their owners. Brook then leaves Thriller Bark carrying Shusui, one of the 21 great grade swords, knowing it belongs in Zoro's hands. So when the Straw Hats arrive, Brook simply hands Shusui to Zoro, and together the crew set sail for their next destination, Sabori Archipelago. Here, the crew simply resupplies and sets course for Fishman Island. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where's the iconic punch moment? Well, this time the Straw Hats are evil. They don't protect anyone unless it benefits them, and they don't stir up chaos that gains them nothing. Because of that, there's no Amazon Lily, no Impel Down, and no time skip. The crew is already strong enough, but this choice has consequences. Kemi is sold to the Celestial Dragons, and Hachi is gunned down with no one there to save him. Meanwhile, Marineford plays out much the same. Ace is executed, Whitebeard falls, Blackbeard steals his fruit, and Shanks ends the war. The difference? The world never sees it. Without Buggy, there's no broadcast. And once again, the Straw Hats don't lift a finger. They have nothing to gain here, and in fact, Whitebeard's downfall only clears the path for them. So they sail forward, straight to Fishman Island, leaving Marineford behind. Now, before we get there, let's check in on Jinbei. With his memories restored, he grows up hating humans, yet he still joins Fisher Tiger to make his name. After Tiger's death, Jinbei takes command, keeping Arlong as his subordinate. This time, Arlong listens, because they share the same hatred. When Jinbei accepts the role of warlord, he uses Arlong for the dirty work, shielding him with his status. And importantly, he keeps Arlong out of East Blue, wanting Luffy's path to be clear. When the Straw Hats reach Fishman Island, they already know Shirahoshi is Poseidon. She's too valuable to waste. Before trouble even begins, they wipe out Hodi's crew, overthrow King Neptune, and seize control of the island. With Whitebeard dead and Big Mom yet to claim it, Luffy places Fishman Island under his flag. His first move, naming Jinbei ruler of Fishman Island, strengthening him as both king and warlord. His second move was capturing Shirahoshi, because whoever controls Poseidon controls the seas. And with Fishman Island under their command, the Straw Hats set sail once more toward Punk Hazard. First off, the biggest change here is that Smoker and Tashigi are still locked up in Alabasta, so they never make it to Punk Hazard. And since all the warlord seats are already filled, Law never becomes one. Without that title, he can't move freely, and Caesar has no reason to trust him, meaning their alliance never happens. So when the Straw Hats arrive at Punk Hazard, they already know about the secret labs and its deadly gas experiments. Zoro cuts down Virgo while Luffy crushes Caesar, but instead of finishing him off, Luffy makes an offer. If he would work for the crew, his life would be spared. Terrified, Caesar submits, becoming their captive scientist, forced to mass-produce weapons, artificial devil fruits, and chemical warfare for the Straw Hats. The only shadow hanging over Caesar now is Doflamingo, but Luffy reassures him that he'll handle Doflamingo soon. Aside from all this, there's no Kinemon or Momonosuke in the story, since without the time skip, we're still 2 years too early for their arrival. And with that, their next destination is Dressrosa. With Luffy, Enel, Zoro, and Sanji at their current strength, Dressrosa is nothing more than a warm-up. They charge straight at Doflamingo's crew, wiping them out and seizing his entire underworld empire. Now Luffy has Poseidon, Caesar under his control, and the Smile Fruits, using them to build an army of devil fruit users while turning Dressrosa into the perfect base for experiments and crew expansion. From there, the crew set sail to Zou for one goal: the Red Road Poneglyph, the key to Laugh-Tale. The Mink tribe, who had safeguarded that chamber for generations, rise up to defend it, but despite their loyalty and ferocity, they're hopelessly outmatched. The Straw Hats cut them down, slaughtering the guardians of Zou before seizing the Poneglyph. Their next destination? Wano. Now, there's no Whole Cake Island arc this time. Firstly, because we're 2 years early, and second, Sanji already knows what's coming. Why walk into a trap you can see a mile away? And since Luffy never crossed Big Mom here, she has no reason to interfere. That only only leaves Kaido. The first order of business is gathering power. Zoro claims Enma, not by trading away Shusui, but by force, discarding Sandai Kitetsu instead since it's cursed and far weaker in rank. Then comes the all-out assault on Onigashima. Luffy, in Gear 5, brings down Kaido. Sanji crushes Queen, Zoro cuts down King, and Enel wipes out the rest. But here's the real twist. They didn't do it to liberate Wano. No, what they're after is Pluton. As Oden once revealed, Pluton rests in Wano, sealed behind its closed borders. By defeating Kaido and seizing command of the country, the Straw Hats force Wano's borders open and unleash the ancient weapon. And as far as we know, whoever controls Pluton has the power to destroy nations. So now, the Straw Hats hold both Poseidon and Pluton, two of the ancient weapons. From this moment, the world is no longer asking who will become Pirate King. The question is darker, more terrifying. How long will the world survive under the reign of the evil Straw Hats? Well, that's a story for another video, because as the original story unfolds, we'll definitely be making a part 2. In the meantime, click on this video next, where we build the strongest swordsman crew in the entire One Piece series. Go on, check it out.